Viral streaming, you have to rely on donations solely. So that's why someone like me is a little bit more crazier with my streams, because I'm fully funded by my audience.
I think if I get sent to prison again, I'm gonna go psycho. And I think at that point, there's no more Ramsey at that point. I feel like I'll go crazy.
Johnny Somali, once just another loudmouth on the internet. Now, he's the poster child for everything wrong with live stream culture. What started as edgy content quickly spiraled into an international manhunt, criminal charges, and a complete career collapse. And the worst part? He thought it was all content. But the internet and the world has finally said, enough. This is the story of how Johnny Somali destroyed his own career, country by country, stream by stream, until the only thing left was silence. Let's get into it. Johnny Somali didn't start out as a menace. He was just a kid from Ohio, poor, ambitious, and like many others, dreaming of internet fame. Armed with a cheap GoPro and a quiet determination, he began posting videos, hoping someone, anyone, would notice him. But no one did. His early content had no edge, no personality. It was just noise in a sea of uploads. So he did what many failed creators do. He pivoted to shock value. He started copying the worst habits from toxic streamers, running into strangers' personal space, screaming nonsense into public areas. And the algorithm, it rewarded him for it. Suddenly, Johnny wasn't just another small creator. He became that guy. The one who'll do anything for views. The more offensive he got, the more attention he received. And with that attention came delusion. Then came 2024, the year everything unraveled. Johnny traveled to Jerusalem, a city sacred to millions. But instead of respecting the culture, he chose to provoke it. At the Western Wall, a deeply spiritual site for Jews, Johnny projected images of Adin Ross and Jeffrey Epstein, shouting, "This is you, Adin Ross," over and over like a broken siren. This wasn't edgy. This wasn't content. It was blasphemous, and the world saw it for what it was, a stunt gone too far. He was arrested on the spot. Kik banned his account, and his name became toxic.
When I go to the judge and say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm mentally ill. I don't know what's going on. I have a bipolar disorder. And what may I do? I left my medication in America. I don't know what's happening, Your Honor. Please help me. I am a psychopath. I plead mentally insane." And they say, "Okay, go home with a fine of $500. What is this gonna say?"
You'd think that would have been the end. But for Johnny, it was just a warm-up. In September 2024, Johnny landed in Seoul. And within days, he managed to turn the entire country against him. He disrespected the Peace Statue, a memorial honoring women forced into sexual slavery during war, by smearing oil on his body and dancing on it, even kissing the statue. This wasn't just offensive, it was inhuman. South Koreans weren't having it. From students to grandmothers, everyone seemed to join the movement to find and confront him. His equipment was stolen. He was lightly assaulted in the streets. He went into hiding, a digital fugitive without a stream.
Trying to get out of this case, man. That's the only reason I'm being charged, is because I touched that statue. If I never touched that statue, I promise you, none of these charges would have happened, guys, at all.
I feel like what I did still is not illegal. Obviously, it hurt people. I feel like when I tell a joke or I say some shit on my stream, it's just for me and my audience. Like, it's not supposed to, like, I feel like in some way I'm trying to be like a comedian in a way.
And then came the deepfake scandal. Johnny posted a fake video claiming a well-known Korean streamer, Bong Bong IRL, was his girlfriend. The video was AI generated, and in South Korea, that's not just creepy, it's criminal. He was arrested again for deepfake defamation. Though charges were dropped, lawsuits began piling up. Convenience stores he disrupted filed cases. He was even reported for harassing bus passengers, a serious offense in a country where public order is treated like law. Johnny was no longer a streamer. He was now a national threat. If South Korea was chaos, then Japan was disaster. In September 2023, on his first day there, Johnny boarded a crowded train during rush hour and started screaming. But that wasn't all. He harassed locals on the street, shouted Hiroshima, Nagasaki like it was a joke, and played missile alert sirens in restaurants. Sounds that trigger panic across Japan when North Korea launches missiles.
I don't know what's happening.
Where's exit?
take me out. I want to leave this park. But I pay money. I pay money. But security said I can make a video, YouTube video okay.
안 된다고 설명.
Now YouTube is not okay? Because I'm What?
And Japan wasn't quiet about it. Ordinary people tracked him down. Japanese YouTubers confronted him directly on live streams, telling him he was disrespecting an entire culture. When he mocked their apologies with a smug, "Okay," the last ounce of patience evaporated. Johnny was arrested again, this time for obstruction of business. Fined 200,000 yen, around $1,400, he was deported and banned for life from Japan. Still think it's content? After deportation, Johnny returned to the US. But he didn't learn. He never does. In Asian American neighborhoods, he live-streamed himself harassing Muslim women and shouting slurs. He zoomed in on strangers' faces and called it content. He laughed off the backlash, saying, "It's not my fault if people overreact." But this time, someone reacted, and it wasn't a viewer. It was the FBI. In November 2023, Johnny was arrested in Las Vegas and hit with federal charges for ethnic discrimination, religious harassment, and community disruption. His camera was seized, his mic silenced, his streams gone. And for the first time, Johnny couldn't talk his way out. He was denied bail and declared a societal risk. The man who once screamed for views was now silenced by law. As of now, Johnny Somali is stuck in legal limbo. He's banned from South Korea, banned from Japan, banned from Twitch, Kick, YouTube. Even the platforms that once tolerated chaos want nothing to do with him anymore. He's facing up to 29 years in prison.
Remember, the default was about 2 years? Now it's 4. The aggravated minimum, which I think is very possible, is 8 years and 4.5 months. Think about that, people. A minimum of 8 years and 4.5 months. That cannot be more wonderful. That cannot be more apt punishment for Johnny Somali if he gets 8 years in a Korean prison. Of course, the maximum has not changed from 12. That's the cap, statutory cap, so they can't go beyond 12. So I do think it is very realistic at this point to say Johnny Somali is looking anywhere between 4 to 12 years, particularly to say 8 years. My guess is now around the minimum, so 8 years and 4.5 months. I think this is my guess in terms of categories. I don't think he's going to get the max. I don't think he's going to get default. I think this is where he'll land. But of course, it is completely reasonable for him to get this as well.
And here's the kicker. The audience that once laughed, donated, and clicked like on his streams, they're silent now. No more fanboys, no more live stream clout, just a digital ghost locked behind real bars. And the fallout doesn't stop with him. Governments are waking up, laws are being rewritten, Asian countries are watching streamers more closely. Platforms are being forced to reconsider their terms of service. What Johnny did wasn't just disturbing, it was precedent-setting. A case study on how far things can spiral when views matter more than values. Johnny Somali had every chance to stop. He had chances to grow, reflect, change direction. But he didn't. Instead, he pushed harder every time, until he pushed himself off a cliff. Now, he's not a streamer, he's not a content creator, he's a cautionary tale. And maybe that's the only legacy he ever truly earned.